Hello, welcome back to my channel. Things have once again changed. Time has moved. So, isn't that great and fine and dandy? I am rolling today without a little outline for myself because as I'm probably going to talk about in like a couple of seconds, I've been writing quite a lot this past month and I just felt like this is a video that I can do without an outline. I can do off the top of my head. So I want to try to do that. And hopefully it will be short and concise and I will still get to say everything that I want to say. We will see about that. I have a feeling I'm putting a little too much faith in myself, but that's okay. So this month I continued to be productive. Isn't that crazy? I continued to get shit done. Wow. I'm so proud of me. I actually made another video that is not one of these wrap-up videos. I made a recap video of Uptown Girls, and I wanted to say thank you so much to all of the people that watched that video. I think that's my most viewed video on the channel, and I'm hopefully going to continue making at least one more video a month other than these wrap-up videos, so look out for those. I'm still working on some other stuff that's more long-term, and I also have some ideas that aren't really about wrap-ups or media analysis, but it's more of like maybe like a writing vlog or just like a process vlog or an update about writing, because the thing that I've been doing this month the most has been writing. I have tried to make it a consistent thing that every single day for, I'm saying at least 15 minutes, it usually goes longer than that, I will sit down and I will write. What am I writing? I'm writing a book. I will save it because I think I do want to do a video talking about that. But it's something I'm really excited for, and it's something that I've always wanted to do since I was a little kid. And I feel like the time is right for me to just strike on the iron and get it done. So that's what I've been doing this month, the majority of the month. But do not fret, I did still consume an insane amount of media. Definitely not as much as I would like to. And I feel like in February, I'm still not watching as many films as I want to. So that's something I need to be more diligent about, for sure. Anyway, let's talk about what I did watch and what I did read last month. Oh, and listen to. In January, I read 4 books. Well, I finished 4 books. I started reading 5 books. And I would not consider all of the books that I read to be literary masterpieces, but I will say that the books that I did read really kept me like motivated to keep going, and that's kind of what I use January for anyway, is to just keep my motivation alive so that I'm not falling behind on my goals, because I do really want to reach my goal this year of 35 books. Last year my goal was 55 books, and yeah, I didn't even barely get halfway there. So I'm trying to be better this year. And I feel like starting off on a foot where I'm just reading really fun, silly stuff is helpful for that. So I reread the Twilight series, and I also finished a book that I started in 2024 in January, which was A Court of Frost and Starlight. It took me a year to finish that book. I don't really know why, because I think it's honestly because really nothing happened in that book, and it is kind of a skippable book, but I'm a completionist, so I need to finish the series, and I need to know exactly what's happening, what's going on in every character's mind. And I started Silver Flames last night. And I feel like it is kind of important to have the context of what went on in Frost and Starlight. But yeah, I mean, I don't really know if I'm obsessed. I think I'm just reading it like I would like watch a silly little TV show, you know? It's not the best most literary masterpiece in the world, but I really enjoy it. And Twilight, same thing. I have been reading Twilight since I was 8 years old, maybe 9 years old. I have reread that series probably about 10 times, maybe more. I read the Twilight series through the lens of Team Edward, but not Team Edward in the sense of the love triangle dynamic, more in the sense of Edward is the character that I project myself onto, and I, like Edward does with Bella, just want him to be happy. And so anything that's gonna make him happy, I'm okay with. And so I'm like, you know what? This Bella girl, she's kind of playing with your head, and I don't like that. I'm like, I don't know if I like Bella. I don't know anymore. I think she's kind of suspicious. But you know what? If you love her, that's fine. I just want you to be happy. That's how I'm reading Twilight, which is, I think, probably not the way that most people read Twilight. I need Stephanie Meyer to write New Moon in his perspective because what I need to know. I need to know what was going on. I need to know every single detail about him lying on the floor and letting the rats eat his beautiful suit that he never took off. That's from the movie, but the point still stands, you know? I need to know. In terms of A Court of Frost and Starlight, I would say Sarah J. Maas to me is a little bit more of a heightened version of Stephanie Meyer. I do like the way that she writes. I like the story. I think it's a really fun, interesting story. And I do think that she manages to ask some really important questions and work through some really important themes. I will say that I don't know if she fully fleshes out everything in a really cohesive way, but the series isn't over yet, so maybe there's more to be discussed. I just do think that some things are handled kind of like flippantly or kind of like cornily even. I also want to add that I have not bought these books. I read them on my iPad, and I know that there's some stuff going on about Sarah J. Maas that is kind of there's allegations against her being a Zionist. So I am consuming the content carefully, but as somebody who really loves Harry Potter, I feel like we can give some of these fans of ACOTAR kind of like some grace. A Court of Frost and Starlight is the fourth book in the series of ACOTAR, which follows protagonist Feyre, who is also 17 at the beginning of this book series. She is basically the sole breadwinner for her family. It takes place in a fantasy world where fairies exist, and fairies are kind of these like magical, almost like deific. I would say that the first book is pretty different from the rest of the series, and the first book is Feyre getting wrapped up into this world after accidentally killing a fairy and becoming indebted to a high fae, the ruler of a high fae kingdom. It's basically Beauty and the Beast. And she goes through a bunch of trials and a lot of things. There's a lot of political machinations that happen, and I don't really want to go further into it because it does kind of get more specific and spoilery the more I even would go into the first book. But I will say I really enjoyed the third book, and I'm really enjoying A Court of Silver Flames, which is the point of view of Feyre's oldest sister, Nesta. I really love Nesta. I've always enjoyed Nesta. I really enjoy Nesta, and I really enjoy Lucian. And honestly, I think that that's the only people who I enjoy in this series, like genuinely love their characters and kind of just want nothing bad ever to happen to them, and I want them to have success. Oh, I do like Amarin as well. I do like them, her. It's a fun series, and I had a hard time getting through the book where nothing happens, but that's okay. It's finished now, and I am 100 pages into A Court of Silver Flames. I read it last night. I started it last night. I listened to a lot of music this month, but mostly I was listening to the same music over and over again. However, I did include some new songs into those playlists that I constantly play on repeat. The first one was In My Room by Julia Wolf. Yeah, that eats. That song eats. It's very clearly inspired by Twilight. I think she literally said that. It's a song I found through TikTok. And also, we need to have a discussion about the music that was inspired Twilight, Muse, and was in the soundtrack of Twilight, and like songs that have been inspired by it, because there are so many, and every song is just like peak, like it's kind of everything, and we don't discuss it enough, and we should. The next song that I listened to a lot was Bring Me to Life by Evanescence. Yeah, I'm listening to Evanescence. You're not listening to Evanescence? That's crazy. I was listening to Bring Me to Life, and so what about it? It's about vampires and how he's bringing alive her soul. And yeah, I started listening to it because I saw a Caitlin Kierman edit to Bring Me to Life. Okay, frozen inside without your okay, right. Yeah, that ate, and you can't deny it, and so I had to listen to it. Also, My Immortal, kind of everything. Evanescence is that cultural girl. Then I also listened to I Love You by the Fontaines. The Fontaines? I don't know. It's a really good song. I like it a lot, and it just kind of was fitting my mood during this month. And then, of course, I listened to a lot of Fall Out Boy and Radiohead, but the Fall Out Boy song that was really sticking with me in January was the Afterlife of the Party. Love it. Love it. I just love a little love song where they're just like, I love watching you and you make me happy and everything you do is great. It's a good song, guys. Get into it. Hey guys, editing me here. So, don't delete your footage before you started editing. Kind of like, don't do that. Yeah. A lot of things were going wrong with the recording of this video. I need to invest in a camera because my iPhone does not have enough storage, and it's really fucking up the way I'm recording. I talked about 3 movies. I didn't get any footage from the first one. I still want to talk about the movie because I did enjoy it, so I'll try to be really quick. It was released in 2024. It's called A Real Pain. It was written, directed, and starred in by Jesse Eisenberg, and it's about these cousins who are kind of estranged but reunite after the death of their grandma to honor her by going on a Jewish heritage walking tour of Poland. And It deals mostly with themes of self discovery, identity, and working through trauma. And it's a very simple movie, but it's very poignant, and it's under 90 minutes. Well, no, I think it is 90 minutes exactly, which I really appreciate. I love a 90-minute movie. Let's bring them back. Kieran Culkin and Jesse Eisenberg work off each other in really cool ways that are very emotionally satisfying, and I really enjoyed that the place that the movie took us. So that is the film that I wanted to talk about. And then I also talked about humanist vampire seeking consenting suicidal person, but I do have a little bit more footage of that. So I will I will try to connect the pieces. It's a French Canadian film, and it is spoken completely in French Canadian Quebecois. Yeah, I watch movies with subtitles. What about you guys? Think about that. It's about this vampire girl, Sasha, who has an aversion to taking human life and doesn't really like the violence that it involves and is unable to grow her fangs. It's this very different version of vampires that I've ever seen. They're kind of more similar to like the D&D class of Fae. They just have like very long lives, but they do need blood to survive. So Sasha's parents have been feeding her for an indeterminate amount of time, and then they kind of just get fed up and they send her to be with her cousin, who is no aversion to this lifestyle, and she in fact really enjoys it. And Sasha is struggling with this. She's struggling with being alive because she doesn't want to take this human life. She feels a connection to them and she sees the humanity that they have. And she's starving to death because she isn't allowed to be fed blood anymore, like just like through a blood bag. So she meets this kid Paul because she is out and about trying to gear herself up to do this, or maybe even considering killing herself. And she sees Paul contemplating jumping off of a building. It was a story. It was just one story, so I really don't think that would have been the move for Paul. I think he probably would have survived that and been in agony, but I think that says something about his character of like, does he really want to die? So she realizes that her fangs come out, but only when he's in danger. So she kind of tries to befriend him, and he actually is like, you know what? I want to do this thing for you. I will sacrifice myself for you because I don't want to continue, and you should. And so they spend the night checking off a bucket list for him because she's like, I can't do this in good conscience without you having fulfilled something. And it's kind of really sweet and just a fun little film. I liked it a lot. The last movie that I really enjoyed watching this month that I was looking forward to, I remember hearing about it in like, I don't know, September or something, maybe even earlier. It's One of Them Days, and I saw it in theaters. It was really funny. Bring back buddy comedies, guys. Let's do it. Let's bring back zany buddy comedies where the stakes are kind of insane. Basically, SZA, yes, SZA and Keke Palmer are best friends, and they are struggling to live in Los Angeles. Keke Palmer's character is a waitress, and she's trying to move up into management, and SZA's character is an artist, and she's struggling a lot with like her self-confidence in terms of like her art. And she also is in this weird relationship with this guy, and they have to get their rent in by the end of the day, but it turns out that SZA's boyfriend has used their rent money for something else. And so they have to scramble for the rest of the day. They're sent on this wild journey to try and come up with the rent money that they need so that they don't get evicted and get their stuff put out on the street. It's really funny. SZA is genuinely a great actress. Like, her comedic timing is really great, and she also has a lot of good chemistry with Keke Palmer. They work off each other really well. I just loved seeing LA in this way. It is very hard to live in this city, and you love this place that you live in, but like, what the fuck are you gonna how are you gonna live in it? Yeah, it was really great. I enjoyed it, and I had such a fun time. The theater was very vocal, and I think that it really contributed positively to the viewing experience. And I just highly recommend it. Everyone should go watch it. And that is basically everything that I wanted to talk about.
So I'm actually gonna lose my mind. The audio cut out. Right. Okay, right. Luckily, I was done with the video, so all I need to do is record this outro, which I shall do now. Thank you guys so much for watching. I would love to know your thoughts and opinions on any of the things that I talked about today. I'd also love to know what you guys think about me doing like vlogs and stuff about writing and stuff like that. So yeah, let me know. I hope you have a good day, and if you're not having a good day today, I hope tomorrow is better.